trying to guide them to an 8th straight NCAA tournament. We're pretty sure that's a lock. What they've been fighting for as of late is to host the opening weekend for the first 2 rounds. That is what is in doubt, as they have had some of those opening night mishaps with contests at Iowa State, here against K-State, TCU, seeing that first match slip away. They've done very well, though, rebounding the 2nd straight night, only losing once this year.
Yeah, they have. This team is young, but the sky's the limit for them. We've seen moments where they really play the way they know how to play, and I don't know that anyone in the country can beat them when they're playing at that level.
Free ball here, back over to Baylor. And McGee with her 2nd swing of the night. Horned Frogs able to keep it alive. Para. Briseño, just good to see her able to wake up today. Not too sore after a tough shot yesterday from Knowles. And a hard-fought opening point for Baylor to level things up here in this first set.
Courtesy of Ali Check, the opposite for Baylor, that takes some swings on the outside and started off the match doing that here tonight.
Check had 10 kills against TCU yesterday. McGee with the serve. Over the near pin to Para. It'll take a touch before carrying out for the point for the Horned Frogs. Well, the student body on campus at TCU took notice of what Jason Williams did last year. They've rewarded him with some of the top attendance numbers they have seen. In fact, their match against Texas this year was the biggest audience for any women's sport for the Horned Frogs. A big swing, but able to come through with the dig there. A name, Bram Schreiber, familiar, of course, around these parts. Off the tape again, it's Bram Schreiber, deja vu. Into the net, as the Horned Frogs will take the point. A great individual effort on a couple of digs from Cecily Bram Schreiber, younger sister of Chanel. Give you another look. Lovejoy High School Leopard, now in her junior year. And Baylor back on the board, back within 1. You see on your screen, Baylor now 8-6 in this challenging Big 12. TCU 7-8. Nobody undefeated anymore. Texas lost at K-State before bouncing back today. Feel sorry for whoever they were going to play today. It happened to be Cincinnati. They were swept out of the gym in Austin. BYU, they're not sitting in 2nd. They're back in 3rd, learning how challenging this conference is.
It really is, and I think over the years it's getting more and more challenging, and you kind of look maybe 5-10 years ago and there'd be this big gap between Texas and everyone else, and now kind of with the rising of Baylor, and especially with the addition of these new Big 12 teams, there really isn't any night that these teams can take off.
Nothing Briseño can't handle, sending it up to the net, and a spark with that right arm from Bibimbe. Arrived this past spring, speaks French, but put a little English on this one. As a serve from Briseño, the junior libero. Had a couple of aces yesterday. Confident swing from the right side from Jalen Gibson, but it'll be an error. A San Antonio native out of Brandeis High School had a career-high 23 kills at UCF earlier this year, and that new home for Baylor, for Big 12 volleyball. Briseño continues her service, a good one. Back to Knowles. Para took a little something off it to get over the double block. And somebody's on the honor roll. Ali Check, a heads-up decision after leaving her feet, dials it down a notch and drops it in.
6 points for Baylor so far tonight. 3 of those courtesy of Ali Check, not waiting to get started here in the Farrell Center.
Where she was playing with Joshua Walker on that USA Pan American Cup squad. Well, the first set is where Baylor had their most struggles. All the other sets you saw were tight last night. And a couple that went to extra points since set 2 and 4. Bibimbe. One more time for the member of the Cameroon national team.
Baylor already getting the middles involved a lot earlier tonight than they did in set 1 yesterday.
Boy, there's been a lot of really good middles under Ryan McGuire's watch these past few years.
One of those middles you mentioned, Shelly Stafford, Shelly Fanning, in the arena tonight for Volleyball Alumni Weekend, playing professionally in Athletes Unlimited now.
Yeah, I noticed today I was looking up a little bit more often with all the alumni back in town.
Yes.
Here is the 5'5" Ulufatu, the freshman out of San Francisco. Getting more playing time recently in the backcourt for Baylor. Line drive serve and ace for the freshman. More of that, please, for the green and gold. After the ace from Tehani, a timeout from TCU. Baylor on a run, looking to claim this opening frame in front of their own. This series might get a little tighter now with him up there in Fort Worth, as Ryan McGuire had his way, an 11-match winning streak until TCU won in Fort Worth last year, and then again, as mentioned, won for the first time since 2015 here at the Farrell Center. So the last 2 meetings have gone the way of the Horned Frogs. Baylor looking to start a new win streak, perhaps. If they can come out on top here tonight. Para from Bramschreiber. Again, Ulufatu on that back row. Bibimbe denied.
Wow.
As the tandem of Bree Green and Para.
Para really showing off her athleticism there. She comes down from that big swing on the outside and sets up for the block perfectly.
What a job Jason Williams has done recruiting people already with Big 12 experience. Of course, last year, somehow signed the talents of someone named Callie Williams. And then this year, Melanie Para. Bibimbe. That was a tight ball to the net, but she made the most of it. As that ball found a Horned Frog on its way out.
Manuela Bibimbe getting started early, 3 kills on 4 total attempts, hitting .500 in the middle for the Bears.
Serve for Sophia Keene. And first service error of the day for Baylor, something they struggled with yesterday. Ryan McGuire was hoping that his team was mature enough to put some of those opportunities away late in sets. One could have easily gone 5. TCU refused to let that 4th set slip away. It's Megan Walsh, the freshman out of Palos Verdes, California, with the serve on the back row now. Able to spot some open hardwood. Sarah Sylvester, sophomore out of Michigan. Not sure where Michigan is in the Dallas Metroplex area. A lot of great talent to be had in North Texas. That'll find its way back in the Baylor column. Bears back up by 4, the kill by McGee. So Bibimbe, who comes over from Missouri State West Plains. Para from the attack line, just doesn't have the angle.
Yeah, not quite there, but TCU really just looks for Para. Doesn't matter where she is on the court, but she is always available and such a go-to for their team.
Again, has been a member of the Mexican national team since really early years as a teenager. Wow. On the left pin, guided over by Knowles. Knowles did not go full speed. Elise McGee did not return the favor. That's a big right arm coming your way, putting it away.
Elise McGee with her 2nd kill on the night. Saw her get that swing on the right side, playing in the outside position, but through her time at Baylor, she's taken swings on the outside, taken swings on the right side, really just been available for McGuire in a lot of different utility capacities up until this year.
Well, the serve receive to Audrey Knowles. They also wind up getting her the ball back, but the pride of Waxahachie up the road, denied by Baylor at the net. Knowles with 9 kills yesterday, over 1,000 in her career, but denied that time. Bibembe going right at home at that service line, thanks in part to the play at the net. That was Alicia Andrew most recently coming up for Baylor, the redshirt sophomore. Jason Williams will use his final.
Yeah, broke into college coaching by serving as the volunteer assistant for Baylor, commuting from Dallas all the way to Waco, and then very quickly got given more and more responsibility each year, all the way up until this head coaching role at TCU.
He's got a pretty good scouting report on the current #1 jersey for Baylor. Harley Kreck, his niece, just a freshman this year for Baylor. Long line of setters coming out of that family. Nicholson with the serve here for TCU, trailing by 7. And that is the kind of kill you put on posters. Allie Check cleared for takeoff.
Allie Check, extremely hot tonight already. 4 kills on 4 attempts. Avery Carlson keeps going back to her, and rightfully so.
There's a blip on the radar for a moment over there at air traffic control at Waco International. Back set over the right side, and that one's a tad strong from Audrey Knowles. Knowles, the former high school rodeo standout.
Now, Jason Williams, really so much potential with his pin hitters when you look at Knowles, Parra, Gibson, and so if he can get them all firing on all cylinders on the same night, he's got pretty good odds that things are going to go well.
What a great adjustment by Sarah Sylvester. Got up, ball was behind her. Able to dunk it down.
Yeah, such good court awareness by Sylvester.
She only had 3 Bears around her defending the net. Serve for Jalen Gibson. Check. Again, they go away from Parra over to Gibson on that right side. McGee may have gotten some fingers along the way, but it's in as well for the kill. Baylor has doubled up TCU here in the opening set. Thing Ryan McGuire still apparently needs to do in his 9th year is figure out a way to make these players angry even before the first match with a team.
Yes, absolutely.
Because they are quick to recognize what they can do to pull out sets on night 2.
Yeah, such an interesting kind of new stat almost that's come now that teams play each other back-to-back nights, and realizing that Ryan McGuire has kind of made a name for himself, the Big 12, for being able to do this on the second night.
Allie Check making a name for herself. Yeah, it started for the pandemic to limit travel and exposure. We're seeing it again this year with the expanded Big 12 footprint, and part of me, I gave that to Check, but it's Sophia Keene, the sophomore out of the Woodlands, north of Houston. Not every weekend in the Big 12 is a back-to-back. But if you have the long journey from Fort Worth to Baylor, I think the Big 12 was factoring in I-35 South.
Yeah, it really has changed kind of the consistency of the schedule this year. When you look at, like you said, COVID, it switched to back-to-back nights, which was different but consistent. Now, it's really probably hard for these teams to find a rhythm, even with practices and scouting plans. With sometimes you're playing Wednesday, sometimes you're playing Friday, Saturday. And so the variety of that making it hard. The student athletes have to have at least one day off during season for studies and things like that. And so kudos to all of these coaches making it work this season.
Parra able to make it work, be able to sneak it underneath DaCosta. TCU in that rally narrowly avoided a 4-hit violation. Able to do just enough to keep a ball alive, get it back over. And Gibson back to serve.
Para's second kill on 8 attempts tonight. I think this is kind of what we expected, right? If after the night she had, Baylor certainly trying to do everything they can to slow her down at the net.
Allie Check gets the kill and will rotate off. As onto the back row again, Ulufatu already has an ace tonight.
5 kills early on in the night for Allie Check.
Halfway to her total of 10 yesterday. Serve receive from Raiola. Simpson. As Para goes up defensively at the net and denies. A junior, so still more eligibility to spend time in Fort Worth. A two-time Big 12 Offensive Player of the Week already this year with her new team. 24 kills yesterday in those 4 sets. Not a lot of players know what it's like to win the final match of the year. And that will be an ace for Para. You've got to be either a really exceptional team to win the last match of the year or a really awful team to win the last match of your season. Maybe a team rallies for senior night before their season's over. Para, wow, again goes at Ulufatu. Bibimbe, tad strong after finding success early. So Baylor is hitting .385 right now. TCU is still hitting in the red. A negative .036. 6 kills, 7 attack errors. If Para can lead a comeback effort, service error will not help. That's going to end a 3-0 scoring run for the visitors. All right, Sophia Keene back to serve. She goes at the libero, Bram Schreiber. This will stay with Baylor. Trying to get over that block, but cannot get it down before it goes long. We've seen both these coaches go a little deeper into their benches these past couple of weeks.
They have, I think, to some extent, it's this time of year, right? There's injuries that show up. It's a long season when you start playing in August, and then here we are middle to end of November. But I think those opportunities give them good depth to experience what they might need going into postseason.
Well, Megan Walsh with the serve and immediately is tested with the dig on the back row. Punctuation comes from Julia Adams. Former ballerina. Out of Plano Senior High School, a grad student for TCU now. Jason Williams got some good news. A couple of his seniors are going to come back for that bonus year. And Jalen Gibson would like that one to do over again. I assume Jalen Gibson and Elise McGee have crossed paths at the high school level down in San Antonio. Gibson out of Brandeis High School, McGee out of Clark High School. Pretty sure those are the same school district.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
Both named after Supreme Court justices. Serve coming up for Nicholson High School, first team All-American at McKinney North High School. Now with TCU as a freshman, and well, you had two Bears, both knew it was going long, but they didn't necessarily know that they were going to be able to get out of the way of that ball.
Yes, that is always a tough position when you're hiding on serve receive, and if you're a really good server, you can find a way to squeak it through.
And it bit check on the way out, as you saw there.
Yes.
Great look by our crew. McGee keeps it playable. twice, blocked by Sylvester. That one's going to drop in as Jalen Gibson has it well measured.
Baylor still very much in control of this first set, but TCU really rallying a few points here late in the teens.
Baylor 2 points away from doing something they couldn't do yesterday, and that's claim the opening frame and take a lead on TCU. He's had 16 points in that opening set. Here is set point for the green and gold.
Courtesy of Allie Check, that smart tip right over the block to make for her 6th kill on the night, hitting 667.
Last year's Big 12 Freshman of the Year, Avery Carlson, trying to close things out here in this opening front. That one will stay in, and we will continue playing volleyball here in the first set. Knowles, after picking up the kill, will come out as the serve belongs to Rayola. Senior out of Scottsdale, Arizona. Of course, dad played NFL football. Down the line, that'll do it. First set goes to Baylor, looking to bounce back from the loss yesterday to TCU. They're in the driver's seat. 25-20. Alicia McGee, you saw, she just blew right by Alicia Andrew trying to get a high five and then finally made her way back. Don't want to start on bumpy terms for a second set here. All right, serve from Nicholson, the freshman. Flat-footed, fires one across. McGee. And TCU having probably more issues with that one than McGee expected. She'll take it. Serve from Carlson. Bram Schreiber on the serve receive. Sent over by Sylvester. See if they go back to Elise here. They will not. They'll go to check on the right side. Good communication. Parra from the back row.
Yeah, ready for that swing, even with the ball being so out of system.
Nice punch from Andrew. A nice little rally here. A free ball for Baylor. Check. Bram Schreiber lays out. It stays inside the antenna. This is just the second point of the set. And Elise McGee will claim it.
Wow. What a swing on the outside by Elise McGee.
That's
a look.
It's a page out of Audrey Knowles' playbook. Go tattoo an opponent.
Yeah, it really is. Those players both have this heavy arm swing that just feels a little bit different when you're watching it.
Probably not just watching it.
I'm feeling it, totally.
Back row, Briseño. McGee off the palm. And another skillful finish by Sylvester. Saw offense from her there, but boy, she was part of a block party against Utah State during non-conference play. In just 3 sets, had 13 blocks against the Aggies. I wonder if these two teams get up for Aggies no matter what state they're from. As Baylor will inch up by a couple.
Elise McGee now leading all players on the court with her 7th kill on the night. Extremely efficient, hitting .438.
Anything about her remind you of Kara?
I feel like they have similar personalities in a way, but then they also are really, really different. They just were, you know, you sometimes see sisters and were always best friends. And so it was really fun to get to see them play together, but I also love this piece of getting to see Elise McGee become kind of her own player, right? Not just Kara McGee's sister, but this go-to outside hitter for Baylor, known across the nation.
Kara wearing that different shade of green this year for her final year at Oregon. The fun fact we used to share about Kara was she either wanted to be a bookstore owner or spread the word at prisons.
I remember that, yeah. both very specific. I always loved that she shared that.
Meanwhile, Marika Vandermark just wanted to pour coffee.
Marika Vandermark, a player that is returned for Volleyball Alumni Night here in the stands with her husband, Trevor Thompson. So now Marika Thompson.
Just in case Ryan needs a lefty. All right, Briseño with the serve here after TCU had pulled even. It's Baylor back up by 1. There's some of the alumni. In this case, alumnae. Briseño. Horned Frogs will take that point. You know, some sports do an alumni game. A lot of times we see it in baseball where some pros will come back. Volleyball, you could have some pretty good matchups here.
You know, there's always every few months like a rumbling about it, and I have the most such dichotomy of feelings, such excitement, but also fear for my knees, my ankles.
That's where you volunteered to call it. Meanwhile, Bramschreiber, she'll get a dig for that effort. That was right off the TCU on the chest. Bibembe getting Baylor back on track, back up by 1, 5-4.
Bibembe really making herself available in the middle all night long so far.
And Manu's first year here at Baylor. Now a junior. Lufatu with the serve. One of the 7 newcomers this year for Baylor. Nothing fancy there. That's the way you dial it up to Bree Green. Spent 4 years at Denver as a pioneer in the Summit League, where she was first team all-conference. You know, Denver is a member of the Big 12 in one sport. Do you know which sport that is? Katie's looking at me as if I'm going to help her.
Is it?
You're right.
Men's
gymnastics.
Soccer. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah. They also learned Big 12 is adding a couple of sports, lacrosse and beach volleyball.
Yeah, I heard that the other day. It's exciting.
Here's Sophia Keene. Free ball. McGee just unable to put it away. Here's another free ball to number 21. That one did not cross inside the antenna, so point for Baylor. It was a decent effort from TCU, but the return was out. During baseball season, that still would have been a home run. Sarah Sylvester is going to come back on the other side of the net. See Sophia Keene. And again, Megan Walsh. McGee. She was in her comfort zone.
Perfect fast tempo set by Avery Carlson. Elise McGee just making it look easy.
You know what might be the difference tonight, although Elise was fantastic yesterday with those 21 kills, is she got her headphones back. She left them down in Austin. An official who worked that match, who worked another match in Austin earlier today, brought them up today. She was thrilled to be reunited. Listen to her own beats. McGee gets a touch. Our line judge says she got the touch, and it is confirmed by Chad Klunk, our referee.
Probably for the best, the Baylor coaching staff all up off the benches thinking that that last swing on the outside had not cleared the net and that it had actually been 4. So what do they say? The ball never lies? I think we just saw that here tonight.
Apologies to the Klunk family for not mentioning our referee's name before then. Finally got some camera time. This one's coming your way.
Oh boy.
It was the Baylor we've come to know back in set 1, and they're continuing here on a 3-0 scoring run in set 2. Already double-digit kills for McGee. Elise able to keep it inside the pin. That one's out. All the little things adding up for the green and gold.
TCU pretty much all night long we saw them above 200 in hitting efficiency. Right now, sad on it.
All right, after the challenge from TCU, initially ruled out for Baylor, and it will stand. They did not see it conclusively, and that's what he's explaining to Jason Williams. Look, you may have thought overwhelmingly that it did, but I could not guarantee 100% that there wasn't touch. And so it wasn't confirmed, but it does stand. Whatever the call initially was, they were going to stay with after that look. And you certainly
I'll tell
understand
you what,
that.
Lincoln, that QR code would have aligned with that
You're right.
perfectly.
You are correct. Unless we threw the third option between confirmed stands and overturn.
Fair.
The write-in candidate, I'm sure, as well. Vote for judge. As Para long on that one. I find it's just as productive for the broadcaster to talk about a QR code than to speculate what the decision is going to be.
That's what I'm saying. You can't be wrong if you just talk about the QR code all the time.
Bibembe continues behind the service line and just needed a little more on that one. Credit TCU, just a couple of service errors. They've more than responded with a couple of service aces tonight, but their hitting percentage finally is out of the red into the black at a .04. Check denied, and a big block up front again from Sylvester. Three different Horned Frogs with 3 kills to lead the way. 4 different Bears have 4 kills or more, including McGee with 10. And check. A little too far away to then have to reach that far to get to that ball. So service continues here for Nicholson. And there's just your third service error of the night, ending another 3-0 run for TCU. Baylor took that first frame, 25-20. Still in the driver's seat here in set number 2. A double dip on the double block. Let's see if the third time's the charm. It is Jalen Gibson. As they slide over to that left pin after twice staring down Alicia Andrew with no success.
Baylor's done a good job of really slowing Jalen Gibson down without only being her second kill on the night.
If you tuned in yesterday, you learned that Jalen Gibson taught herself to juggle during the pandemic in a span of 2 days. That means Katie still has 24 more hours to figure it out.
Tomorrow at, what time is it right now?
Central Time, 7:45.
Okay.
McGee with the serve. Everybody in the arena could hear that contact. Free ball put away by Para. Thank you very much. Baylor just happy to get this one over, but Para was there. Ramschreimer. Check. And again, it's Gibson this time from the right pin, able to put it away.
Talking with Jason Williams after last night's win, Gibson really just has been so steady all season long. from him on the right side. He has so much potential in so many of his hitters, but Gibson has kind of been the one that he always seems to know what he's going to get from him.
As Para may have been debating multiple choice what she's going to do with the ball, in the end did not send it back over. Baylor first to 15 for a second straight set, looking to take the opening 2 chapters of this.
That there's less people to key on. There's everyone game planning against her, and she's found a way to be that efficient on the outside.
Both of those Bears with brothers who played for Texas A&M. Of course, Luke McGee played men's basketball over in College Station. As Baylor quickly with that 16th point. Let's see if Briseño can go on a run here. She also is on that USA Volleyball Collegiate National Team and the USA Pan American Cup squad. Well, a couple of aces from Briseño is going to prompt the timeout from Jason Williams. He does not want this set to slip away. Now trailing by 5 to 20th ranked Baylor. We entered this week with obviously Texas in a great spot to possibly host all the way to the national semifinal. Of course, an attack error officially on that last point after an ace. Unintimidated, Riley Simpson gets up to deny Jalen Gibson. Simpson's been on fire recently.
She has. We talked so much about Elise McGee and the role she's been given with Kendall Stowers being out, but I'd put Riley Simpson right up there with her as a player that's really stepped up in the lieu of that injury.
One of 3 Simpson sisters playing college volleyball. Let's see if there's a net violation before the point. TCU gets it either way. Para with 24 kills yesterday, been limited to 4 thus far. Late here in the second set. Gibson. Bibinbe. Graham Shriver, right place, right time. Simpson. That one would have been close. They choose to play it. They'll get the point anyways. Another look at Baylor improving its lead to 6.
Ali Check with her 7th kill on the night. Just that left-handed right side hitter that every coach loves and wants and recruits. She just does such a good job of picking her shots.
Ulufatu. As TCU out of position. Just a mental error here in the second set. Slide to the right, tapped over by Green. Bibinbe, put a little bit more mustard on hers. I don't know if in Cameroon putting mustard on something translates to the same thing, but.
For those tuning in, feel free to give us feedback.
Yeah. But back row, Knowles able to squeeze that between the block and the net. Serve for Para.
Now Knowles with just such a heavy arm swing that Baylor has to be really, really buttoned up on really pressing over the net when they're on that block, or it will slide through like it did on that last play.
Para hitting 118 tonight, 5 kills to lead TCU. And Elise McGee has 10, Check has 7, 5 for Bibinbe. Here is Bibinbe. A dump from Carlson. Simpson. Battle at the net. You didn't catch it, but our crew earlier today was having fun talking about jousting. Baylor gets the better of that battle at the net.
Yes, it's such kind of a specific skill in volleyball, but it's really whoever touches it last and whoever's the strongest. And so it's always kind of fun to see those matchups, and that can look like a 5'10" setter matching up better because they timed it. So it's always a fun rivalry.
They assumed it was a reference to equestrian. On the left side, that one off the fingertips of the block, stays playable. McGee. Man. Oh, what a dig. Great effort on that back row by Clark. This one easier to handle for Jalen Clark. Yeah, you can see Baylor finally settled in, got the set to McGee they wanted, and the rest was elementary.
Man, yes, that cross-court shot by Elise McGee, that just, she made it look too easy. You can really tell Baylor's playing in this comfortable rhythm that they've found in the second set.
Back row, Para denied by McGee and Bibende. Set point for a second straight set available to Baylor. Sophia Keene, the sophomore, will try to close things out here and send us to the brief intermission. The 10-point cushion. Keene. Access denied. Set number 2 to Baylor. And a chance to sweep when set 3 rears its head here in Waco.
Of the expectation being to make the NCAA tournament and to go deep in it.
In TCU all-time 3-12 here in Waco. It used to be 2-12 before yesterday. Opening point for the Horned Frogs. Serve for Gibson, who has 3 kills, still hitting in the negative right now with 4 errors. McGee wanted it a bit too much. Did not get the touch. So service for Gibson continues. She'll get the dig to keep it alive for Para. Finds Briseño and a free ball here for TCU to settle in. And one more to get it over, not going to be able to. Baylor will come away with the back and forth. Their first point here in set 3. Yeah, we should have known better than to set up Ryan McGuire to, act like they were just gonna blow TCU out of the building. He immediately realized they still had a 3rd set to play.
Yeah.
An ace. 4th ace of the night for Baylor. Elise McGee getting in on the fun.
Couldn't have drawn that up better, that topspin serve right to that back line.
McGee, again, the only player right now in double digits with kills, 11. And off the tape, will not hold up for Briseño, who comes flying forward. The Horned Frogs back up by 1. It's these early points that maybe are tight back and forth, but this is about when Baylor has hit its stride in the first 2 sets. Let's see if TCU can change that script here. .24 kills yesterday, just 5 today. Great effort on the back row by DaCosta. cannot do it a second time to deny Audrey Knowles. And Bree Green coming over from Denver, but used to be a Cedar Hill High School Longhorn there in the Dallas area. Knowles saw the open real estate, and you can see she was in a hurry. Didn't want to get the full swing. Saw that opening on the back row, wanted to strike quickly.
Audrey Knowles, such a staple for this TCU program over the years, even with the coaching transition, really just able to kind of keep the consistency of the program even with that change.
Both home teams won last year's series. Now, there is not a home and home this year because of the back-to-back. They're both in Waco. You could probably, even if you did back-to-back, justify this being a home and home. Same thing with Baylor in Texas, but not the case. Baylor had to go to Austin. The only two times that Ryan McGuire's Bears have not bounced back on the second night have been in Austin when they had to play both games down in the state capitol. That was true of this year as well.
Yeah, we talked about the schedule and how it's a little less maybe balanced, might be the word, than previous years. And I think you're really seeing things like that, like the home court advantage affect that Baylor would have to play Texas at Texas 2 nights in a row in that home and away, not necessarily getting a chance to play home and home.
Have we mentioned the name Audrey Knowles tonight?
Just once or twice.
Up to 6 kills now, and a strong showing here in this must-win set. That time takes one off the left ear from Bibimbe. If you're Baylor, you treat this like a must-win set, don't you?
Yeah, you really do.
Obviously, it fails to meet the criteria for that description, but if you give TCU confidence, send it to a 4th set.
I think what Ryan McGuire shared in that halftime interview was really insightful, just in the sense of when you're playing at 100% and you're locked in at a certain level, sets 1 and 2 are what you get from Baylor. And if you are 1 degree under that, anyone can win. And so I think for him, a good match is staying consistent into this 3rd set and finding a way to win straight sets.
Serve from Audrey. That is a long return on the serve receive. Baylor's not made to pay for it. McGee into the block, denied by Sylvester. Bibimbe cleans things up.
And we talked about it early, but Baylor has done such a good job of kind of changing up the game plan and getting the middles involved right from the start. Manuela Bibimbe is the name that we have been saying, with that being her 8th kill on the night, hitting .462.
Yeah, best hitting clip for either team. 2nd in kills only to McGee. Bibimbe with the serve to Bramschreiber. Wilifatu got under it, kept it alive. Back to the right side, Gibson, an error. Service continues for the newcomer. Right down the middle from Sylvester. McGee able to steer wide of that double block. Got a piece of Para.
Well, kill on the night by Elise McGee. Double the leader in kills for TCU at 6 from Audrey Knowles.
Serve continues from Bibimbe. Para fouls it down. McGee is there. They'll go back to Elise. They reward her for her effort. At the moment, Baylor all of a sudden can do no wrong here in a closeout 3rd set. That puts him up by 2. And along the way, it's been Mbembe with the confidence service. See if she can stay clean here. Another float to Bramschreiber. Para. She was tired of seeing Mbembe at that service line. Elevated quickly and fired it home. Cecily Bramschreiber. Mentioned from that high school powerhouse, Lovejoy High School. Free ball for the green and gold, they'll bury it. Well, if you're trailing 2 sets, you cannot afford to make mistakes like that.
Elise McGee with her 14th kill on the night feels like she can do no wrong right now.
Already a double-double in kills and smiles from Elise McGee. Briseño with the recovery. Check. Back to McGee on the left side. This time, Para can't find the hardwood. McGee off the touch. Stays with TCU. Back row attack from Knowles. Got fingertips. And it's TCU back in the score column. Back within 1. Seventh kill for Knowles. A quick whip from Andrew for Baylor. And Briseño just can't get underneath that one.
2 back-to-back kills by Knowles, like on that second one that she found a way. Wasn't the set she wanted, but tipped the ball and found a hole on the court.
25-20, 25-14, the first 2 sets to Baylor. Much better start here in this 3rd set for TCU. A service error will inch Baylor back up by 1. Is going to come back on. McGee with the serve. All eyes were on the right side, and Gibson comes sailing through. That'll help pick up the point for Baylor. Pardon me, for TCU to level it at 11. Between the 2nd and 3rd set, with that brief intermission, the alumni in attendance were honored, and there's that one who didn't get the memo wearing a purple hoodie. Katie.
I wonder who that could have been. I feel like that's a free pass, right, if your husband's the head coach of TCU.
Is she still the first All-American Baylor's had, or has your name maybe been inched ahead?
No, I will always be trying to catch up with Corey Sivertson in the Baylor record books. I'll assure you of that. Take a good look at her there.
Good luck trying to find her in that picture. What we really lost when Jason took that TCU gig was a really capable fill-in in our depth chart on the broadcast here.
I know, she was awesome.
We have found some pretty good depth, though. Para. Oh, free ball for Knowles. Briseño there for the dig. Check. And just a little too much spin to get it back over. You want a libero who can lay out for you. Keep those points alive.
Man, yeah, what a play. And all starting with Riley Simpson with that quick-footed defense.
They'll tool the block. Bree Green. And Megan Walsh continuing to get opportunities to serve on that back row tonight. What an effort from Gibson, got underneath it. Keep this point alive for TCU, down by 1. Free ball for Baylor. Could not take advantage. As TCU survives that miscue.
Now you hate to see that after that heavy arm swing by Alicek on the right side.
TCU continues, good job with the communication. As Walsh, the freshman, continues her serve. Check. Knowles. Able to keep it out of the net. They avoid the lift. And is that a 4-hit violation? It is.
That's Alicek again with her 9th kill on the night. Such a go-to player for Baylor offensively.
She'll have a chance to catch her breath on the bench. As the serve again for Ulufatu. Behani serving with a 1-point advantage. A tight third set that TCU must come away with. Knowles able to tool the block. Baylor was there, but unable to keep it in play.
Knowles better than just about anyone I've seen in the Big 12 Conference at tooling blocks. I mean, there can be a clean, solid double block on her on the outside, and just such a heavy arm swing that she finds a way to power through.
Service error gives the point back over to Baylor. For a third straight set, Baylor the first of 5.
An incredible player. Just goes to show how much Baylor's been keying on her.
Andre Knowles leading the way for TCU with 9 kills, but even she's just hitting $1.33. Jalen Gibson will even it up at 15 points apiece, putting that one away. That's her 6th kill. Elise McGee's 14 kills, 9 from Czech. Bibimbe with 8 of her own. Is on Baylor's side of the net. They go right at Bramschreiber. Joshua Walker right now, the assistant coach for Baylor, shouting instructions in courtside. All right, back and forth here in this dramatic third set. That could either end the night and send a lot of fans home happy with bucket hats, or perhaps stretch to a 4th, maybe a 5th. Maybe TCU finds a sweep this weekend. McGee. Nicholson able to keep it going. Para. Carlson back to McGee, denied.
Wow.
Blocked by Green.
Elise McGee with only 1 error prior to that on the night, and so that just goes to show how effective she really has been.
Check from the back row, finds Jason Williams, who had the kick save, but didn't need it. TCU with some entertaining celebrations.
We talk about how this Baylor team is young, but even, you know, anyone a junior or above played for Jason Williams. The majority of these student athletes were recruited by him, and so it's got to be kind of funny to know someone so well and be across the net from him.
Yeah, it's that latter comment, recruited by him, because there has been a decent amount of turnover in the roster for Baylor. The reason why they're so young now. No senior on the squad. McGee through the tape. They have weathered the Elise McGee storm, and it's Knowles who's able to answer, putting it away for the Horned Frogs. And it's TCU who's gone on a run now. It's a 5-1 run since that last time out. Ryan McGuire. That would just be very good teams beating up on each other before the NCAA tournament.
Right.
The fans would certainly love to see it. McGee. And that's what you want to see if you use a timeout. Your team respond.
16 kills on the night from Elise McGee. Baylor trying to prevent TCU from getting to that coveted 20th point.
Avery Carlson wasn't just your freshman of the year. She was first team all Big 12 last year. No, ma'am. The double block denies Gibson on the right side.
McGuire told us how big of a deal that block would be going into this third set, excuse me, and that is exactly what we're seeing.
Mentioned TCU went on that run, 5-1. Now Baylor's responded from the timeout with the last 2 points. And not as fortunate this time around as Gibson not cheated on that one.
Goodness gracious, that had a lot of heat. Take another look at that. McGee and Andrew trying to take away her cross court, and she said, no problem, I'll go down the line.
And Gibson now with the serve. Check from the left side into the block. It carries wide. And a point for Baylor. Elise McGee was the closest one to that ball afterwards. At 6'4", I trust her instincts as to whether or not that ball is going to carry out. And Elise hitting .350 tonight, 16 kills. She and Check each in double digits. He also with 3 blocks, 5 digs on a busy night after she led the Baylor attack yesterday and an error from the Horned Frogs.
That toss on the serve from Elise McGee, a little out in front of her, but she found a way to just keep the serve in, and Baylor was better for it.
Just like that, we're level 20-20 in this third set. Baylor leading 2-0. And a good serve from McGee to give Baylor a chance. First, Para has her say. As TCU inches back up by 1.
And Briseño tried to line that one up, but just too much heat from Para on the outside.
Melanie with the serve. That's tight. Able to salvage it, just get it over. Para. Able to find the hardwood. Get the sense she might be good at poker with that face.
No, I was just
Never gets too high, too low. Just, we mentioned, knows what it takes to compete for a national title when every single match is your season on the line. Ball coach from SMU. Moves conferences. Para continues her serve. TCU up by 2 and a must-win set number 3. That lead's been cut in half. Alicia Andrew.
Love the celebration and excitement from Alicia Andrew after that kill out of the middle.
All right, let's see if the service from Briseño can spark a run here. Baylor still trailing late into this third set. Para denied. It falls in for Baylor. Or pardon me, no, it carried long. That's how strong the swing was from Para. I thought it had taken a hop just from our vantage point.
Wow.
But no, carried wide, 23-21. And Para, perhaps she has a chance to close things out. As back to serve is going to be Walsh. Joined by Para on that back row, and that'll be a short-lived service. Ball at the feet of Jalen Clark, gets down.
Manuela Vivenbay does it again. It's 9 kills. I'm telling you, Baylor needs to keep getting the ball in her hands.
All right, here's a critical moment in how this match plays out tonight. Which way will things swing? Safe serve from Czech. Knowles. Only plays at 1 speed. And it is set point for TCU for the first time tonight. A chance to force a 4th. Horned Frogs wanted in 4 yesterday. They're not going to have that luxury tonight. They'll need 5. Knowles. And we will move on to a 4th set in Waco for a 2nd straight night. This time it's Baylor who can close it out, but TCU avoids the sweep. Still has a...
Yeah, Avery Carlson still doing a really good job of having a balanced offense. She's getting those middles involved with Manuela Bibimbe and Alicia Andrew with 9 kills and 5 kills respectively. And then Elise McGee and Allie Check leading the charge with 16 and 10.
Appropriately, Knowles gets us started, but a service error. 8th service miscue for TCU tonight. Horned Frogs, just a little miscue there at the left pin.
Wide was a little set, or the set was a little bit wide for Para, even in her athleticism, wasn't able to bring it back.
First time Baylor's claimed the first 2 points of a set. Graham Schreiber calling everybody else off. Back over to Para. Boy, that ball was hanging up there for so long. Melanie Para able to figure out exactly what she wanted to do with it. There's the smile. Talks things over with Bree Green and Jalen Gibson. Not going to leave her hanging. Serve from Cecily Bram-Schreiber. A block denying Andrew. Para with the dig. Brisenia with the response. And Green not waiting for that ball to come to her. Making something happen. First 2 points for Baylor, last 2 points for TCU. Carlson keeps it alive, and that's how you draw it up, isn't it? Avery Carlson heading over to grab some popcorn from the front row. Picks up an assist along the way to McGee.
Wow, I mean, so out of system, and Avery Carlson just finds a way to make it work.
McGee, a little hitch in that service.
Yeah, you could tell that toss wasn't exactly what she wanted, and she tried to get her feet there and just couldn't quite do it.
Alexis DaCosta will come back on the back row to join Briseno and Keene. Serve here from Gibson for TCU. Andrew tried to get a little spin on it, initially awarded a touch, but not the case. TCU with the confidence of winning that 3rd set. See if that can carry them to a 4th set as well. On the back row, Knowles. Check. A block at TCU, and Eclipse Check on the way out.
5 blocks through 3 sets for TCU, a little bit lower than we're used to seeing them have as they rank so highly in that category in the Big 12. That makes for 6 on the night.
Gibson will give a point back over to the green and gold with the service there. Down the middle. That one did get fingers. Bree Green with the kill. Not a lot of stress detected on these Horned Frogs.
Yeah, you're right. They're playing loose. They look comfortable. I think that 3rd set, like you said, Lincoln, a must-win set. Now they're able to kind of be a little less pressure in this fourth. Still a must win, but
they trust they know what they're capable of, but they have given Baylor the last couple of points with service errors. Now, if you're a coach, you'll accept that if you serve aggressively and are successful more often than not. Let's see what the plan is here with Ulufatu.
Now, Baylor kind of going for that risk reward, having 4 aces on the night, but TCU only with 2 aces, so those errors outweighing those aces.
Knowles off of Bibembe. Back to Manu.
Bibembe now in double-digit kills, hitting 500.
Still playable for TCU, right down that line. It's in from Green.
We've talked all night about how Baylor has done such a good job of getting their middles involved, and now TCU following suit a little bit there with Brianna Green being the one to do it with her 7th kill on the night.
Bree will get a breather. And back to Walsh to serve. Bibembe tried to do a little too much with the no look.
Yeah, it looked like the hope there was that she would catch someone's fingers and tool the block, but TCU a little too smart on that one.
Problem is, she hits it so quickly, it's hard to get fingers even if you wanted to on that ball.
Right. Yeah, I think the TCU block was late. That's why there was no tool.
All right, Baylor back on the board, back within 1, leading 2 sets to 1. And part of this young squad, Sophia Keene, the sophomore, to serve. No extra points for hitting the line judge.
Probably for the best.
Nicholson, flat-footed. McGee. Baylor get their block in place. Answer to that was yes. Briseño.
Oh, Gibson pretty off balance there and still finds a way to score.
Dig from Para. Knowles. Not this time. And is that a lift from McGee or a double contact?
Yeah, double contact, tough ending to that long rally.
Just one hand staying on the ball a little bit longer than the other. Nicholson among the Dallas area products, opting to play college ball close to home. Her back set over to Gibson. Finds a bear and then sends the souvenir into the Baylor bench. Oh, Horned Frogs would welcome a chance to breeze through a 4th set here if they can go on a run. Send us to that sprint to 15 in set number 5. One freshman to another. And then there's Elise McGee. 18 kills for McGee, leading the way tonight.
She's been set 45 times and still, I mean, the strength of her shoulder, she has not slowed down for a second.
I'd argue 45 times her teammates have made the right decision. Battle at the net. Knowles unable to get it past that block. Last time we saw Bibembe behind the line, she was camped out there for a while for a nice run last set. She at least pulled Baylor even, down by 2 right now. Para. McGee, after hitting the apex of her jump, hits it on the way down. Comes through with the block, deny nulls. They'll go back to that battle, the joust of the net. It's McGee. Whether it be a step under the net by TCU for a violation or the kill outright, it's Baylor's point. No indication of a violation, simply point Baylor.
Wow, truly a solo block by Elise McGee there, and Manuela Bibinbay could not be more excited for her.
That means, again, Bibinbay continues her serve. Down by 1. Leading overall 2-1. Not a chance for Baylor on that one. That was smoked. Jalen Gibson does it again. An emphatic 10th kill of the night. All right, we see Taylor Rayola again come on to serve for Jason Williams' Horned Frogs. A low drive finds Keene. McGee. 19th kill, 2 shy of her total last night in that forced setter. See one of the newest members of Ryan McGuire's staff, Jorge Piñate.
Wow, what a scramble.
This time there's no answer to Alicia Andrew. 12-12 here in the 4th set. They had an answer for McGee, but not Andrew. You wonder if a few eyes were looking at 21, waiting for her to get the ball. Instead, it was the redshirt sophomore from Washington. Baylor can't find the lead. TCU the first to 13. Baylor's been the first to 15 each set, even when they dropped the last one. Graham Schreiber. Check. Bram Schreiber was already collapsed and still got a stab out there to keep that point alive for TCU. They lead by 2. Cecily Bram Schreiber in a precarious spot, able to make the most of it, and she'll get the serve. Almost called her Chanel.
Bram Schreiber, their family, such a volleyball family. Their mom, Nikki Bram Schreiber, owner, director of Mad Frog Volleyball Club.
2 Horned Frogs just collided, but both thankfully able to get back up, including the one who gets the dig right there, Nicholson. McGee taking a little something off it. Into the block, it stayed playable. Para keeps it alive. All right, let's see if the Bears can settle in, down by 2 here in the 4th set. And they just run out of heroics on that point. Ball into the antenna.
A long play there, but I think the sheer number of players on the ground sprawled out throughout that point just go to show how bad both of these teams want it.
I mean, early in the point, TCU had a couple of players collide with each other and then slam into our table. Both pop back up. You knew that was coming. Para, tad strong. Will she get a touch on it? She does. Point for the Horned Frogs. And it is TCU for the first time tonight, the first of 15. That sends us to a break. They need to win here in set number 4 to force a 5th. They're going to need a 5th one tonight if they're going to sweep just their 2nd Big 12 foe of the year. They swept Texas Tech at the start of the season. Jalen Gibson waiting for the green light. Yikes. Alley check. 2 words were given to me at the start of the season, heavy arm. But the scarier 2 words that were given to me, future broadcaster. Our tenure might be cut short in a few years.
Wow, yeah, that one looked like it drilled a hole through the floor.
I think her playing days will last a little bit longer. Para. Now it's DaCosta by herself on the back row. Not sure if there's a little miscommunication there. A teammate flashed in front of her. First 2 sets, 25-20, 25-14 to Baylor. TCU answered 25-22. Eyes in the back of her head. Avery Carlson able to dial up the kill with this assist.
Alicek has the hot arm for Baylor right now, mixing up her shots, putting the ball away left and right.
Baylor several times has been able to pull even. It's just inching ahead here in this 4th set. It's been a problem. Not going to happen here. The dump from Nicholson.
Nicholson with her first successful dump of 5 attempts tonight.
Serve from Walsh to Briseño. Bibembe. I don't know how we still have enough volleyballs that are fully inflated to keep this match going for a second night.
I was going to say, Baylor's still down by 1, but they have really found something offensively in these past few minutes.
And a big void at middle blocker coming into this year with the losses of McGee and Mallory Talbert. Serve from Keene. Null denied, Bibembe and McGee.
That makes for 4 blocks on the night for Bibembe.
Lofted by Keene, who continues her serve from the back row. Gibson sent it over. Para. 14th kill for Melanie for the team high. 1 of 3 in double digits with Knowles and Gibson. It's a double-double night for Melanie Para. If you factor in those 10 digs, 4 blocks as well. They'll need more from her. That's Gibson blocking McGee. This time McGee from the attack line. The Horned Frogs lose their footing with Nicholson under the net. No contact.
Baylor fans a little frustrated, screaming that she was under the net on that, but the refs don't seem to agree.
TCU will come away with the point. Ryan McGuire is going to inquire about that. He needs to be careful. He's going to have a yellow card coming his way. He's going to be right, as are the fans, again, coming under the net. He has a, I don't know circumstances in which that would not be reviewable if he wanted to challenge, but he is going to pick up a yellow card. Saw Nicholson came under. don't think there's physically a yellow card to show, but you understand if you throw your clipboard, that's one of the easier triggers.
Sure.
Serve from Nicholson, who he believed was the guilty party. And just a little miscommunication between Nicholson and Para. Baylor takes advantage. And Ryan McGuire is going to redirect that attention and energy to his own team. Get them fired up and in position here for the serve from Bibimbe. Back set to Knowles. That'll carry over to the TCU faithful.
Good swing by Audrey Knowles, cutting that back in when the set was a little outside the antenna.
We're getting into the late points here in this fourth set. And Czech was just able to tuck that in.
Allie Czech really seeming to be a big difference for Baylor in these third and fourth sets.
Right in front of the line judge. Baylor's been chasing most of this set. Can they cross the finish line first? And Jalen Gibson fires that as it ricochets off a Bear and out of play for the kill. TCU's been able to deny giving Baylor consecutive points. Elise McGee, Graham Schreiber keeps it alive. Para battle at the net. As Allie Czech will put the punctuation on it, but it's back and forth. Somebody needs to win a serve. Will it be Baylor?
That's Allie Czech again making her 14th kill on the night. Big splash for Czech in this fourth set.
Down by one. Carries long. TCU just needs 3 more points to try to keep their hopes alive. A reverse sweep against 20th ranked Baylor.
Not the outcome McGee wanted on that serve, but you gotta love that she made a mistake going for it on that last serve.
Andrew blocked, no recovery for Baylor. And now the Horned Frogs just need 2 more.
No surprise there that Avery Carlson decides to go to Allie Czech, who continues to have the hot hand.
15 kills for Czech, second only to Elise McGee's 20 tonight. And Briseño lead a comeback and end this night here in the fourth. That block carried, and what a great effort from Gibson to the back row. This is tight, kept alive by Carlson. Knowles, and DaCosta underneath it. Simpson. Back row attack. Bibimbe into the tape. One more to get it over. This rally refuses to end. There's so much on the line here in set 4. Both sides catch their breath midway through. Bibimbe! Baylor back within 1. How is that point only worth 1?
It is wild to me that is the way the game is played.
Oh, it may not be over though at that point. Jason Williams talking about challenging it, and he is going to. We'll get the answer here. And that's not just standing, that is confirmed, they say.
It was certainly a weird play, but it did look like after it hit the net, it crossed the plane. And so I think that's what our reffing crew saw.
There's a chance if she's not at the net going for the block, it may stay on Baylor's side. But she was right there, that ball pushed through, and it looked to climb up her arm.
Seems very definitive, but
So instead of 24-21, it's 23-22 with the call confirmed. But Baylor's had a problem of finding a lead this set. And here's set point for second straight frame for TCU. Now can Baylor return the favor to TCU? As Baylor had a chance to force a fifth with a lead in set 4 last night. And deep into the points, the Horned Frogs were able to end the night. Ryan McGuire is going to call a timeout, his final of this set. So 25-20, 25-14. It was a 2-0 lead for Baylor. Melanie Parra tonight, 14 kills, 13 digs. One of 2 double-doubles for TCU, along with Gibson's 12 and 11. A point here for TCU sends us to a set 5. Horned Frogs last night, the top 25 win against Baylor. Bibinbe. But it is still set point for TCU. Can Baylor win a serve? They'll bring back in the freshman Ulufatu.
What a swing by Manuela Bibinbe on the outside at the perfect moment.
Big spot here. A service error sends us to a 5th set. Clean over to Bramschreiber. And just ugly on the Horned Frogs' end. We're headed to extra points here in the 4th set. We saw extra points several times yesterday. First time necessary tonight as Baylor has battled back. The green and gold inch ahead. Knowles. Back to Knowles, that's a tight ball, but she gets it over. Bibinbe denied. Set point again for TCU, 25-24.
Baylor in serve receive with Manuela Bibinbe in the front row. Certainly has had a hot hand these past few points and likely to get the ball.
All right, Horned Frogs have had a couple of chances now to close out this set. Here's a third. Walsh. Back to Bibinbe. And they're going to a 5th set here in Waco. That one carries long on the... All right, Faith Lynch makes her debut on the evening, a 6th generation Baylor Bear, wearing the 6 on her jersey, out of Magnolia, Texas. Of course, it used to be named Chip and Joe, Texas, I think. And first point to TCU. Bramschreiber will have the serve coming up. He's had some great individual moments. Used to cheer for the green and gold. Now, where's the purple and white? McGee. When in doubt.
Elise McGee with her 21st kill on the night. Gonna get more sets here in the 5th.
That matches her 4-set tally yesterday. Serve from Carlson, who got the signal from her head coach. Every point almost twice as critical here in set 5. It's a sprint to 15. It's Baylor with the lead.
Wow, Elise McGee, Alicia Andrew tag teaming for that incredible block in the middle.
Carlson. Baylor will win a serve. It'll stay with Carlson. Back set over to Gibson. Keene keeps it alive with the dig. McGee, not the angle she wanted. Gibson tonight, 12 kills, 10 digs. And an ace on the let serve. How about 25 years ago, you would reserve?
Yeah, wow. Gibson thankful that's no longer a rule.
Before rally scoring came about. Ball's on that back row. Para around the block. And it goes wide for the error. Simpson on for Keene. McGee with the serve. Takes her complimentary dribbles. Denied by Simpson, who just checked in. Second chance, though. TCU comes through, squeezes it between the block and the net.
Love that Brianna Green didn't slow her arm swing down just because of that first block. She took a big swing the second time and was able to power through.
Defensively, Baylor's brought Alexis DaCosta in on that back row. The serve from Melanie Para finds Briseño. Check.
Wow, what a hustle by Avery Carlson.
Simpson to the back row, just about a foot long. And the Horned Frogs have overcome a 2-point deficit early now to take a lead. This is the first time overall they've had a lead tonight. And they're finally pulling level, 2 sets apiece. And short-lived. Alicia Andrew, her 6th kill.
What a swing by Alicia Andrew. We keep seeing punch for punch these two teams. Both of them want it so bad.
Para from the back row. Just couldn't get on top of it. 6-5 Baylor. Knowles with the serve receive, free ball, Bibembe puts it away.
The Baylor fans on their feet after that swing from Bibembe, bringing some life into the Farrell Center.
Timeout TCU, next point for Baylor with potential. A Saturday night destination Big 12 volleyball in Waco between Baylor and TCU. We're in a 5th set. Horned Frogs with their first win here in Waco last night since 2015. They won the last 2 meetings. Fort Worth last year, Waco last night, trying to take 3 in a row. It didn't look like that was going to happen. They dropped the first 2 sets this evening. They've battled back, still in line, perhaps for a reverse sweep. Right now, trailing in this 5th set now by 1.
TCU's 6-point courtesy of Audrey Knowles doing what she does best, powering through that block with her heavy arm swing.
Now, Bibembe decided to dial it down a few notches there, and the Horned Frogs were ready. Send it right back. 7-7. Next point, we'll have the benches switching. Who will claim that 8th point? Bibembe. Oh, 2-handed delivery. Baylor inches up by 1.
Bibembe on fire with her 16th kill of the night, hitting 370 out of the middle for Baylor.
This year, it's been a big factor in Baylor's success here in 2023. Ulufatu trying to reestablish a little breathing room for Baylor here in this 5th set. Para.
Jason Williams not pleased with that out-of-system serve receive pass.
Knowles gets that one first. Riley Simpson. Baylor up by a pair. She had 10 kills yesterday against TCU, a little quieter tonight. That was her first. Back to Knowles. Simpson. At the 6th rotation player, Para back there. Joined by Gibson, her colleague. Knowles. If they give it back to her one more time, they won't. They'll set instead to Gibson. It's long. And Baylor will be 5 points away from match point. They put it in their back pocket, perhaps. That's going to prompt a timeout. And Gibson and Para.
Knowles likely getting a lot of sets in the front row on the outside, but it would not surprise me for one moment if we saw some back row attempts.
All right, Ulufatu continues this successful service run, and that'll come to an end with the error. 12 service error for Baylor tonight. TCU's had 11 of their own.
The fans almost asking Ryan McGuire to challenge that they saw it in. Linesmen seemed very definitive, but I'm with them. It looked pretty close.
All right, so it's one thing when a player looks you dead in the eye and swears to you, their head coach, that you should challenge. But let's talk about the trust that's been built with some of the courtside fans.
Yeah.
The verdict is in.
Wow.
A successful challenge from Ryan McGuire, and let's see if there's a pending pizza party for the fans over there on the opposite baseline. Wow.
The Baylor sideline is emphatic, and rightfully so.
And just like that, a 4-0 run for Baylor. No room for error from TCU, and it's time to go back to Knowles. More of that for the Horned Frogs, please. Serve from Lily Nicholson. As Ulufatu at 5'5", thought she had that one measured, as carrying long, just hits the line.
TCU trying to slowly inch their way back into this 5th set.
That one's in. It's one of the easier ones to call tonight.
Riley Simpson really showing up in this 5th set when it matters for the Bears.
That one inside the free throw line. Keene. Baylor needs 3 to claim the win tonight. Graham Schreiber. Diving effort from Ulufatu. And McGee on top of that into the net.
Well, we've been going for 2.5 hours, 2 hours and 31 minutes, and it all comes down to these last few points.
Oh, you think it's only a few more points? We had 26-24 in the 4th. Wouldn't be surprised if it's 26-24 here in the 4th. Baylor not interested in that storyline. All right, Faith Lynch back in to serve. Elise McGee's been one of your leaders tonight. 22 kills in this 5-setter. We'll give Faith Lynch something to talk about on her podcast. Down the line, Para with the left-handed adjustment. tucked into the back corner. Match point's going to have to wait. But Ali Check and Manuela Bibembe will not have to wait. They come back on, though, for Bibembe right back off. Libero Briseño takes her spot. And the opposing libero, Cecily Bramschreiber. See if she can get a service run going. In. Wow. Twice Baylor has just misgauged where they were on the floor.
Bramschreiber with a gutsy serve to the back line at the end of the 5th set.
This to level it at 13. TCU trying to overcome a 4-0 run from Baylor this set. Parra wanted it a little too much, but got the touch to get the point for TCU. Otherwise, that one was going to carry along. 13 apiece. TCU erases a 4-point deficit in their 3rd straight must-win set. Bramschreiber. McGee denied. TCU will serve with match point on the line. Wow.
A lot of excitement from the TCU bench as they finally got momentum for the
A Big 12 win on the line tonight. Match point for TCU. And match point is off the table.
Silly me thinking it would end in normal points.
There have been very few normal points. Carlson. All right. Is she aggressive or is this a safe serve? It's a good serve from Carlson. The better answer from Gibson again. Set point, match point for TCU.
What a swing by Gibson on the right.
Looking to complete a reverse sweep here in Waco and a sweep of the weekend.
Another deep serve, but Baylor plays this one.
Nicholson, Knowles comes through. Horned Frogs take it. Down 2 sets to none on this Saturday night in Central Texas. Back-to-back top 25 wins against the rival Bears.
TCU finds a way to complete the reverse sweep with a well-balanced offense with Knowles with 16 kills, Parra with 16, and Gibson with 14.
Final point is being challenged. You've got it. Might as well use it. Can't take it into your next match.
Yeah. Now the question is, what is being challenged?
At the moment, Horned Frogs are in line to be 500, 8-8, with a couple of wins here in Waco. They've got a trip to Houston coming up next. Then they'll step out of conference and host High Point and BYU to close things out in Big 12 on the 25th of November. Looking at the attack line with Knowles.
Another look at that. The ruling being she just has to take off behind it.
Yeah, she's good.
She's good. At least from that angle.
Horned Frogs complete the sweep. Baylor will hit the road one final time to Kansas in 4 nights. Then we'll see them in their last 2 Big 12 matches here against West Virginia and Houston. All of those remaining matches on Big 12.
तो भतार तोर खाई रे, झूठ समान तो भतार तोर खाई रे, झूठ समान तो भतार तोर खाई रे। ना मिली मजा तो खूब गरियाई रे, ना मिली मजा तो खूब गरियाई रे। भतार तोर भतार तोर भतार तोर खाई रे, झूठ समान तो भतार तोर खाई रे। जइबे जो छोड़ के हमरा तन को ना गम्बा, पागल हो जाई तोरा भरम्बा, पागल हो जाई तोरा भरम्बा। जइबे जो छोड़ के हमरा तन को ना गम्बा, पागल हो जाई तोरा भरम्बा। तोरा जैसा ढेर हमरा मिली हार जाई रे, तोरा जैसा ढेर हमरा मिली हार जाई रे, तोरा जैसा ढेर हमरा मिली हार जाई रे। झूठ समान तो भतार तोर खाई रे, झूठ समान तो भतार तोर खाई रे। भतार तोर भतार तोर भतार तोर खाई रे,
म्यूजिक बाय सुकेश राय।
झूठ समान तो भतार तोर खाई रे। केतन भतार लगे बनबे पवित्र, जान जाई सब तोरा का पावे भीतर।